Earlier today, Field Yates of ESPN put out a mock draft. So I want to go over the Packers selection, who he had the Packers taking at number 23. And so here we have it. I'll leave the full mock draft down below in the description if you want to click on it and check out the rest of it. But here we have Packers 23, Maxwell Hairston, cornerback, Kentucky. The Packers have to look at their cornerback room this offseason. Improvements would allow them to play more man coverage under coordinator Jeff Hafley, after tying with Tampa Bay for the lowest percentage of man coverage snaps in 2024, 29.2%. Hairston sat out some time because of a shoulder injury this past season, but he led the SEC with 5 interceptions in 2023, 2 of which were returned for touchdowns. He's a playmaking ball magnet who is going to fly in the 40-yard dash at the combine. Hairston pairs well opposite Jair Alexander. That duo could help shore up the Green Bay pass defense that gave up a 67.4% completion rate this season, 25th in the league. So first off, we still don't know if Jair is going to be back. Right now, he's still on the roster. He's still under contract. But at the end of the season, he made it clear he didn't exactly know if he would be back in Green Bay. And so with all of his injury history, that's something that's somewhat uncertain. The Packers could release him. They could trade him. It would come with a large dead cap hit, but that could be what the Packers decide to do if they aren't convinced that he's going to be healthy enough, heading into 2025. But I think when you look at the Packers' first round, biggest need, in my opinion, edge rusher. Next biggest need, I'd probably go with cornerback. If the Packers do move on from Jair Alexander, you got Carrington Valentine, Javon Bullard in the slot, Keyshawn Nixon outside. And they played pretty solid against the Eagles in that game, but I think that the Packers still need to add some more talent to that cornerback room and get a first, second round caliber player. I think that when you look at, Keyshawn and Carrington Valentine on the outside, they played some solid games, but when you look at lots of the stats, the Packers with Jair Alexander were much better overall, when he was on the field. And when Jair has been healthy, he's still been one of the better cornerbacks, I would say, in the league. And so when we look at Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky, he's 6'1", 186. If you look at NFL Draft Buzz, where their average, where all the scouts rank him overall based on different sites, the average is the 14th ranked cornerback, overall ranked 54.7. Two people, though, who I would say I trust the most when it comes to draft analysis. We have Todd McShay, who according to NFL Draft Buzz has him ranked at 35 overall, so beginning of second round. And then Daniel Jeremiah, who used to be an NFL scout, who now works for NFL.com, the NFL. He has Hairston as the 44th overall player. So it looks like this guy could be a round 2 guy. Field Yates has him going in round 1. So it's a possibility, but overall it looks like he could potentially be a round 2 guy. But here's what Daniel Jeremiah says to add on to what Field Yates said about Hairston. Hairston is a lean, athletic cornerback with ideal play speed and fluidity. In press coverage, he incorporates a one-hand jam before turning and carrying vertical routes. He has plenty of burst/speed. In off coverage, he likes to settle and catch receivers at the break point. He'll need to play cleaner with his hands down the field at the next level. In Kentucky's defense, he rolled back to play in the middle of the field versus certain formations/motions, but he was late to diagnose and react from that alignment. He's willing in run support and is a dynamic blitzer. He was limited to 7 games this past season due to injury. He had a very productive 2023 season, 5 interceptions, but wasn't targeted much in the games I studied from this past year. Overall, Hairston offers an enticing blend of movement skills and production. And so I do think, getting a first-round talent at corner could be a big boost for this Packers defense. And when you have corners who are able to, lock up their guys and play more man, it does give you that ability to be more aggressive when it comes to blitzing. And with guys like Edgerrin Cooper now in the Packers, that's something that going forward I think we'll see a lot of, just as we saw Jeff Hafley use Edgerrin Cooper a lot last year when it came to blitzing the quarterback, even using Quay Walker as well from linebacker to blitz. If the Packers can lock down those guys on the outside, then that gives them more of an ability to be aggressive when it comes to, pressuring the quarterback, bringing those blitzes and things like that. And so I'm not sure if Hairston will go at this point in the draft. It's a possibility, and obviously with the combine and things like that in the future, that changes the outlook for lots of these players based on their 40 time, lots of other measurables, things like that. But from what I saw, there's a lot of other players who typically have gone earlier in mock drafts. I know that, Travis Hunter, the wide receiver / corner, who knows where he'll play in the NFL, if not both. He's the number one guy. Then you have a few other guys. But one guy who I have seen go more in this range is Jahdae Barron from Texas. Daniel Jeremiah has him as the 9th ranked player in this draft. And so it seems like Field Yates may have him going later than Hairston. So there's some disagreement there. But all in all, no doubt Hairston's, a top two, first or second round guy. So could be an interesting fit for the Packers. I personally want to see the Packers go edge rusher round 1. I'll probably make a edge rusher video. There's a ton projected to go in round 1. It looks like a very deep class at edge rusher. And I just think that for the Packers, that's the biggest need. And I think when you look at that Eagles defense, what they did to Mahomes, it really makes you want to see, the Packers D-line take another step. They played really good against the run, against the pass. When it comes to rushing the passer, it was a different story. So I personally want to see edge rusher round 1. Maybe they address that in free agency, but we'll keep an eye on that one. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and we'll see you guys next time.